Hey guys, what's going on? Another episode of the Buick rear suspension rebuild. Today I'm coming at you from inside of my house because it is a brutally cold day. It's like 2 degrees out there with -5 wind chill or -10, whatever, but it is freezing. So I'm stuck inside, kind of snowed in. Roads are horrible, and you can see it's still snowing, and my pipes are frozen too, so that's great. And what do we got here on the kitchen table? But you can see here I got some parts. This is the 4-link kit for the 56. I'm just kind of putting it together. Brought some wrenches in here. Alright, I kind of put this first one together here, and it's looking pretty good. It's really really solid, and you can see it's got different holes in it, so it's kind of pretty spaced out, pretty wide right now. I might actually move it to the other holes, but I'm not really sure. I'll only know when I actually get it up in the car to see how it's gonna be. But one thing I noticed right away is they messed up this bracket. It's backwards, so you can see they're both the same side. So I'm assuming they probably threw 2 of the same ones in the kit, and they're actually supposed to be different because you can see they're spaced out different, the holes. So thankfully they only welded it like that, not very good. So I'm going to cut those welds, and I'm going to have to reposition it opposite of the other one. I think that's why they only welded it like that, not because they put the wrong bracket in, but so that you can easily modify it how you need, because there's so many different variables. But that's probably all I'm going to do today, because it's just so cold out and I can't really go any further until I get things mocked up on the car. It's another cold day here. Probably not going to get a whole lot done today. Mostly I'm not feeling the greatest. I have some kind of cold, and it's just cold out here. It's miserable. I don't like working in these temperatures, and I haven't finished hooking up any kind of heat. So I'm gonna pull the old 72 out, so I have a little more space to work with, and start figuring out this 4-link system and where it's got to go. As I showed you in the previous clip, they messed it up and put 2 of the same brackets in here, so I do need to cut these welds. Maybe I can at least get that done today. That'd be cool, because that's going to have to be moved over here. But I just have not had a whole lot of time to mess around out here. I've been really busy in the propane world, working a lot, so kind of nice to get a few minutes out here for a little bit, even if it's just an hour or so. Something. Every little bit counts. So let me get after it here, and maybe I'll do a cold start on the old 72. It's been a hot minute since she's ran, probably a couple weeks. So let's see what happens. So for those of you who are new to my channel, this is a 1972 Chevy C20 3/4 ton pickup. Nothing special. Custom deluxe. You know, it was just an old farm truck. Well, it did have a camper on it at one time. It's got the camper package, custom camper. So it's got a 5.3 LS. It's a 2003 model. It's got the drive-by-wire setup. Turbo 400 transmission. Original rear end, 14-bolt rear end. Full floaters. That's about it. I've been doing some interior work on the thing. I got to put a carpet in here. I cut down that tunnel and got it much lower so there's more leg room. But I got to get a carpet in here and finish up the interior. But let's see what it'll do. Usually makes a little bit of noise when I start it up for the first time after it's sitting a while, because the power steering pump makes noise. I thought it was a transmission, but I have replaced the transmission since it started making that noise, and it still does it, so I'm pretty sure it's the power steering pump. It has Hydro Boost, so I think there's just some air in there that gets trapped in there when you first start it. But don't have to touch the gas or anything. Make sure it's in park. I don't have a neutral safety switch. You can hear that noise and it goes away. And now it's quiet. It's got a little baby cam in it. It's I forgot the specs on it, but it's a stage 1 summit cam. Pretty small, but it has a nice little lope to it, especially when it's cold. This truck is right in my way, so I'll do a cold start on it too. This has been my daily driver. It's an 84 K20. It's got the 5.3, pretty wore out one. It's got almost 300,000 miles. It's got the SM465 4-speed still in it. Everything behind the engine is original. Transfer case, rear end. It's been a good truck. It's just pretty low on power. It's a little on the worn out side. And I think there's something wrong with the pressure regulator or something, because it doesn't always start right away. It's got to get some prime to it. So what I usually like to do is turn the key on for a little while, a few seconds, and try it. Okay, it does not have enough prime. Wait a little bit more, and it starts right up. So that's a little embarrassing because this is a LS, fuel injected. It's supposed to start right up. So you gotta figure that out. But parking brake does work, which is cool. Maybe someday I'll put a 6-liter in it, or build a 5.3 to make low-end power. I don't know. But this thing's bone stock. No cam or anything. It's got dual Flowmaster 10s. Real Flowmasters, actually. It's actually pretty quiet. It's disappointing. I thought it was going to be a lot louder when I put that exhaust on there. Look what we got over here. The Dodge. It's still over here. This is a project I never finished. It's been sitting over here because I've been working on other things, and just kind of lost interest in the project, but maybe I'll find interest again. This is a 99 Dodge Ram, 1500, 5.2, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. I want to put like an old truck body on here someday, but it runs really good. It's got like 140,000 miles on it. This is really icy out here. I don't know if my two-wheel drive truck is gonna drive back up that hill. We'll see what happens. Broke my neck more than once. Oh boy, this is pretty slick. Will this thing make it without locking the hubs? Probably not. One thing I like about this transmission is that I like the gear whine. It's pretty cool. Makes you feel like you're driving a big rig. Oh yeah, it's slick. But made it without four-wheel drive. So here I got the old trucks over here. That one will always be my favorite. Square bodies are cool, but there's so many of them around here, they're just not even cool. I like that body style better. And that truck's more special to me anyway, but this thing doesn't owe me anything. It's been super reliable. No regrets on building that truck. It's not going anywhere. Four-wheel drive has helped out in many cases, especially with my driveway that spirals up like that. It's hard to get out sometimes. Sometimes I need four-wheel drive. But we got all this room now, so now I can well, what is that giant puddle under there? Okay, well, I put this under there, and first of all, it's pretty long, and it was spaced out too far, so I moved the bars to the inside holes, and I know for sure the outside holes are not going to work, so I'm going to cut this ear off right here and on all of them and make this as small as possible. This should work a lot better. It's going to be really difficult with that X frame. I might need to do some modifying like I've seen people do on these and cut the part of the X near the end and move it forward with a straight piece across. It's kind of hard to explain, but I might need to do some modifying on that part of the frame to make this work and make it sit this low. There's just so many obstacles in the way. It's going to be pretty difficult, but I'm going to start by cutting these, and I'll mock it up again in there and see if it'll work any better. Alright, I got that other hole cut off, and I took the flap disc and I made it look like it never existed. I'm going to start just by working on one side. That way if I have to make a change and I'm making both of them the same, you know, if I made them both the same at the same time, if I had to make a big change, that would be annoying because then I would have to change both of them. So I'm just going to work on one, get it right, get it how it needs to be, and then I'll make the other one to look like it. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to screw these in all the way. You can see I can actually make these quite a bit shorter, maybe a full inch on each side. That 2 inches will make a big difference because these are just really long. I need them to be much shorter, and I really don't want to cut them in half and like shorten them or anything. I'd rather not do that because that would make a weak spot in the pipe. I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to shorten these as far as I can go, and hopefully that will work. Okay, it's all reassembled, much smaller unit. Can never really tell that there was another set of holes, and the links are shortened up. pretty much as far as they'll go. I left a little bit of room just, you know, for some fine adjusting if needed. But I think it's all ready to mock up again, see if this will work a little better. Alright, let me show you what it's looking like under here. So, there it is. Kind of hard to show you everything, but there's where it goes up against the axle, and there's this side, and you can see there's some clearance to the floor, which is pretty good. Should give it plenty of travel, but this is probably about as low as it's going to be without serious modifications, which I don't want to cut on the floor or anything. Hey guys, another video here, another clip anyway. Been a little bit since the last video I took. I've been extremely busy, as most of you can probably relate to. Nice sunny day today, but I've only got a couple hours out here. I'm gonna see what I can do. I think I'm gonna pull these wheels off and take that rear end back out of there, because I got to do some slicing and cutting and sawzalling and grinding and stuff like that. I kind of know what's got to be done now, so kind of take everything back apart and go from there. Alright, it's update time. I got this other bracket fixed, sort of, except I don't have gas for my generator to run my welder, so I haven't welded that yet. I need to get some gas tomorrow after work and weld that. But what they did is they had both of these brackets the same. I guess they put the same bracket, two of the same brackets in the kit, so they were both facing the same direction, so I had to cut the welds off and slide it the other way, so it should be good like that. And also matched by cutting the other mounting hole off and grinding everything nice. Also made up these two fish plate looking things. They're still hot, but yeah, this one's kind of cool enough to touch. And these are gonna go like so right here. These are the holes where the exhaust goes through, but it's right where I need to put the 4-link. So that's gonna go like that, and I'll probably make another little piece to fill that in and weld that up. And then that other little plate will go on top of this. That should be plenty strong enough. This is the spot that I need to fix on the frame, but very typical Buick spot right there. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna route my exhaust, but I might have to dump it right there for now and just put some quiet mufflers on it and try to get the drone down. But I don't know if that's gonna be a problem with carbon monoxide. More than likely it will be. Maybe I can possibly cut a new hole right there or something, and I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out down the road. I'm not worried about that. So that's basically what these plates are for. Alright, quick update. Got working on welding these brackets up all the way. Kind of overkill welding them as much as I am, but that's alright, I guess. Ran out of wire, so I wasn't able to finish that one. I also got the plates welded in. So those are looking good. And that's where these pieces are going to mount up to. Gotta cut them at an angle though, because of that X frame being at an angle, so that these will be straight to the axle. And they're probably going to land somewhere like halfway down the tube, so it should work out okay. Alright, time for an update. I got the axle back up in there. It took me a long time to get it measured up right, so right now it is perfect. We got 4¼ inches from the
backing plate to the frame on both sides. I got these trimmed out at the angle to go against that X frame. The other one's already under the car, ready to get tacked into place. And these are all welded up. So now I just got to get these, somehow get these centered up. There's not a whole lot to measure off of. So I'm going to get that done. That'll take me a while, but that should be a really good start. And it might pretty much be downhill from there. I do have to figure out my Panhard bar, which I got the pieces for that over here, but that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Alright, got an update here. Got these pieces, the mounts all tacked in place. My throat's kind of hoarse, probably from getting all this rust in my mouth, climbing under here, banging around. I had to do some clearancing on the floor over there with a hammer to get that side the same as this one. But now I'm going to start working on the Panhard bar. It took me long enough to get those straight, not having very many straight things to measure off of, but right now it's kind of in its lowest position, so that's why the bars are kind of angled down. You're supposed to kind of keep them straight and at ride height, but this is in a pretty low position right here. Alright, so I've been working out here. You can see I got some mock-up wheels on here. Don't make fun of the gold spray paint, but or you can make fun of it, I don't care, but they're just for mock-up. Now I'm going to jack this back up, show you guys where it sits when the suspension is bottomed out on the, well, I should say the axle tubes are bottomed out on the frame. Alright, right there is where the axle tubes are bottomed out on the frame. You can see plenty low enough. Really, really low. I don't know if it's going to sit that low aired out. So I guess I haven't updated you guys on my decision. I decided I'm just gonna go with the air bags. It would be kind of dumb not to. I got just tons of potential here for air ride, and I think it'll work out better for me than the adjustable coilovers, as I can get more travel out of it. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the front, because you can see that's quite a drastic difference. So that'll be aired out though. So until I get some air bags in the front, when it's aired out, it's gonna be sitting like this. But that's aired out. Ride height will probably be something more like this right there, which is a lot more reasonable. So right now I'm actually working on the Panhard bar. Now this kit that I got had so many issues. You guys have seen the piece I had to cut and rework, but this is another one. They put this here, they welded that in there, that whatever you'd call this, a bung. This has reverse threads on it. It has the wrong threads. So I cut this off and I welded that nut on there. And I'll just have to find another nut so I can have a lock nut. But so I can actually put the this piece in there. So and then this is where the Panhard bar is going to mount to the frame. It's on the square tubing. So get this here, and this is going to go like that, and that's going to be welded to the frame. And I just got done welding up a plate at the end to box that in, clean it up a little bit, have something to weld to there. Not sure how long it has to be yet, so I haven't cut it. But I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna go inside, get something to eat, and I'll be back out here. Little update on everything. So here's what it looks like with the axle tubes bottomed out on the frame. This is going to be the lowest position that it can go. I'll show you my Panhard bar. It's kind of dark under here, but here's the Panhard bar, what it looks like with the axle all the way in the lowest position. And you can see my square tubing. I got welded on the frame right up here, but when I take everything apart for the final welding, I'm going to reinforce it and put gussets on it and make it really strong. Same with these pieces over here that come out. I'm going to reinforce them really good. But also, it's kind of nice because the bracket bottoms out on this cross member, so it's another spot where I can just sit on that. So everything's kind of just bottomed out. It's almost like a bump stop right there. I think I'm going to go with the 2,600 pound bags back here. I already picked a couple out. They are 7.5 inches wide, so that should work. And then the lowest, when they're compressed or aired out, they are I think 2.8 inches, and all the way up they're 9 inches. So I already did a bunch of measuring and figured out where it's going to sit at ride height, and it's going to be just about perfect. And the hard part is going to be trying to figure out where to put shocks. I was just looking at that, and there's not a whole lot of room left to work with, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But I'll figure something out. I'm probably going to have some kind of drop brackets that come down and then with the shock, but they'll probably be somewhere over here. So anyway, pretty happy with how it's coming along. I just wish I could work on the front too, but I'm probably not going to do that this year, so it's going to be a little funny at first. It's going to be a tail dragger. Yeah. Bumper is probably going to be dragging. But it'll be really awesome when I can get to the front and do that. But I'm probably not going to be airing it out very often. Probably only at car shows and stuff. But when it's at ride height, it looks really good. It's just a tiny bit lower in the back, which I like that anyway. So it'll be good for now. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. Stay tuned if you want to see more of this suspension build here. Thanks for watching.